scale. Punt Pals, the game begins. Betting on sports with our expert experience. From football fields to courtside drills. Punt Pals podcast, we pay the bills. Punt Pals, your bid and play. Join us now every sports day. Tips and picks, they never fail. Punt Pals podcast, set yourself.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're listening to it as it is. Punt Pals podcast. And we're going to start off with an apology. We are sorry. We haven't been here for 2 weeks, Nick, but we're back with a vengeance.
Yeah, saved our pennies up to have an even better version of the podcast coming back, Robbie. And it's been a couple of busy weeks, mate, so fair play to us, I think, mate.
Yeah, it was unexpected, but you started a new job. I went away to gather around and went for Easter, and it just got too hard, and we thought, you know what, we'll rest it.
We did a Punt Pals gather around edition and got messy, didn't it? So we couldn't go live with it. In the end.
Scrap that. That's out of here. See you later.
As soon as the Dons got up, it went very messy after that for you, great man.
I've only just gone to bed yesterday after that Dons win. Man, how exciting.
Once a year, celebrate hard.
That's exactly right. So there hasn't been anything up on there for a while, but you can jump on our socials at Punt Pals Podcast. Just search us Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It's all easy. Also follow us on your favourite streaming service, Spotify, Apple, iHeart. We are there and we are ready for you to hit play.
Yes, we are, mate. And there were a few rumours circulating that we perhaps got to the 800 in the challenge, the 100 to 1,000 challenge, and we just went on a big bender.
Yeah.
I can just, sort of. You might have, me not so much.
Something along those lines. $800 doesn't get you far these days.
No, not really.
Two blokes on a bender, $800 is fun.
Yeah.
But it doesn't last all night.
No, mate. It's a one night only special, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, actually, that's probably fair. It doesn't last all weekend. I think we could make it last a night.
Yeah, just had to find a few happy hour specials, mate. But we've had a busy couple of weeks. Love to touch on what you've been up to first, mate, because your last couple of weeks sound way more exciting than mine, including the trip to Adelaide for the gather round with the boys, which I saw a little bit in the socials, but, mate, take us through it because there must have been some highlights, surely, apart from the Dons.
Of course. Now, gather round is the weekend of the year. I'm just going to say this right now, Nick. You haven't been able to indulge yet, but you need to make this happen at some point. Adelaide just puts on a show. There's been talk about, maybe we share it around, maybe we bring it to WA, maybe we take it to Tassie. Shut it down. Just don't even do it. If you've been to gather around in Adelaide, you know it's the place, man.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, and you want a boys trip generally out of your postcode as well. I
think. Exactly. You don't want to be bloody going up to or down to Mandurah and getting an Airbnb. That's way too close to be found by our wives.
Absolutely, mate. So the premise of Gather Round, not only they put on a good special weekend, but I tell you what, mate, it's just good to get a bit of proximity from home, isn't it?
It is. Now, I will say to you, it was probably a slightly little bit more of a tame affair than other years. It was a smaller group. We did have a crack though. Wednesday night I flew in and both my other buddies flew in actually. So we stayed up to about 1, just drinking a carton at home, like in our Airbnb. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, all 2 o'clockers. And that's pretty good for me these days.
2 a.m.
Yeah.
Solid, mate.
Yeah. Still haven't got the voice back properly.
Still a bit husky. Was there a bit of betting chat, mate? Was there some strategy around some same game multis? The boys into it, are they, or what?
Not massively. Like I was putting my little same game multis on every single game. I love doing that at the moment. I've been missing a lot of multis by 1.
Yeah.
Literally 1 leg and 1 disposal.
Yep.
It's rough. And the reason is I've been going very conservative with my multis, right? And I've literally been taking even up to 10 legs, but at the very lowest disposal possible for a lot of these guys. And it's been paying about $250. And I've had a few get up, but I've missed a couple just slightly.
Well, there's a couple, it's good. Just on that, mate, there's obviously the different bookies do different specials, right? So at the moment you get the points bet, you can take a leg out at half time if it's not going so well or it's a bit shizing.
Yep.
And Green Tab, obviously 1 possession less, you get paid out as that leg as a winner.
Oh, I need to get on them.
Well, I was thinking, maybe just spread the love a little bit. You might find some formula that works for you. But I've been doing just a side note, I've been doing the 2-to-1s and just doubling up and trying to build a balance across the weekend.
2-to-1s? What do you mean?
Oh, just two odds 2-to-1.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So just finding a safe one Thursday, turning 10 into 20, 20 into 40. And then to your point, mate, there's just one guy that'll finish 2 off or get injured or something. and then you obviously rinse your balance. But you started with 10. It was a good weekend. It's fun, isn't it?
We had a bit of fun with it, and that's the main thing. But yeah, man, like with Gather Round, we didn't do a lot of punting, a few little like bets here and there, which was fun. But man, we played golf on the Thursday. I was with a buddy whose brother actually came across with his family, and they didn't think about getting tickets. They were Blues supporters, so we sent them along with our tickets, which was great. We didn't have to go and watch the Blues.
Yeah,
Saw your boys
well
Freo.
Yeah, they were right.
They were good. It was a terrible game.
Yeah,
one of the worst
scrappy.
Games I've seen in a long time.
Always good to beat the Pies, isn't it?
Yeah, that was the positive out of it.
Just finding a way to win out there at the moment, Freo. But, mate, the crescendo of the weekend for you would have been, I mean, can we just get straight into it, please?
Let's
Cut to
rip
the
into
chase.
it.
I mean, we're talking about 300 days of no wins, and Robbie turns up in town, and they clearly read the script, mate.
Hell
Got it
yeah.
done for you.
323 days, and they finally got the win. And do you know what? The funny thing about Essendon in this game against Melbourne, we looked like a real team. I haven't seen us play so succinctly, so accurate, so full of life for so long, man. I know it's probably not going to happen again next week, but I tell you what, last weekend I just baked in it. Baked in the glory.
Just gives you some hope, doesn't it, mate?
Gives you some hope.
I mean, we talked about Andy McGrath being a half-back. Will he ever reach his potential? We spent some time in the midfield.
Yeah, he did.
Darcy Parish had a ripping game.
I'm waiting for you to say it.
Well, I won't steal too much of your thunder because I want to hear about who you were really impressed with, mate.
Well, of course, it was Archie Roberts.
Yeah,
Archibald Roberts.
Your boy.
Oh, man,
Record
42
disposals.
touches. 37 the week before.
Wow, yeah, so he's a good banker, isn't he?
He's a good banker, and he didn't really spend a hell of a lot of time in the midfield, a bit, but he was on the halfback flank a lot.
Yeah, rotate him off halfback. McGrath goes in the middle. Formula done, mate. And we can't leave out 2 metre Peter, who's had a positional change to go into the ruck.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. I like him there.
I love him there. I mean, the new throw-up tap sort of situation suits him, doesn't it?
Well, it certainly does because he's 2 metres. 2 metre Peter.
Can't kick a goal. Put him in the ruck, for God's sake. Use his height to your advantage. So that was a big weekend then for you, mate.
It was huge, mate. What about you? I heard you've been, because it's that long since we've spoken to each other, I heard you've been a fool at April Fools.
Oh, I have.
That was 2
been
weeks ago
fooled.
now.
Yeah, it was. So, yeah, quick recce on what I've been doing. So I went down south for Easter.
Lovely.
And just try to tie a little bit of a boys' sort of trip in between. And we had a few days, the missus and I, in the lead up. A day of spa action massages, just sort of treated ourselves.
Now?
Yeah, a bit of a baby moon sort of sit show.
Cute.
And then, mate, I thought, well, I'm going to get the drone out and go fishing down south. So I went down to a beach north of Augusta called Deep Dean. Forgot there was not a lot of reception available there.
Right.
I was in the frenzy of getting the bait and everything ready and all that. I sort of just said to the missus, I'm heading down. And for those who don't know, the wife, the better half, is pretty heavily pregnant at the moment, Robbie.
Yeah.
So anyway, mate, I sort of had this midnight kind of realisation that, wow, she could be in labour at some stage. So I sort of ran up to get reception and just had 2 words from the wife. Water's broke. ... So we've just thrown everything in the car.
How far were you from home?
We're Tongan, mate. We're 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, up through the beach, beach tracks, mate. It's raining. There's no reception. Anyway, got to the road and, Dad's doing 140 on the way back.
It's your old man as well, wasn't your mates?
He's hammering along.
Yeah.
In his tiny little blue rocket. And she's redlining and, mate, called the wife. Obviously wants to go into her phone range and it was a bit of a, says you're right for going on a phone reception, April full cyber prank, mate.
That is amazing.
So,
That's brilliant.
she got me, a beauty.
Did your old man laugh or was he angry?
He just dropped it back down to a lazy 90Ks and went on his way. So that was pretty full on, mate. Got about
That's great.
Well done, Sarah. Dozen sharks off the beach, caught a few good fish there and spent some time with the family. And then, mate, started a new gig as well. So,
mate, it's all going on.
Wearing a different hat these days for Perth Racing, working over there at Ascot with a new team and absolutely loving it, mate. So
how good is that? So, mate, you're all settled in already? I know you've got the quokka this weekend, of course, so it's probably not an easy transition. It's not a quiet transition, is probably the words.
Well, yeah, no, you're right, mate. It's been a change from one side, working for Racing WA, Rawa, over to the other side, working for the club. So it feels familiar, know all the people there, know the race day inside out, just seeing it from a different angle. But, yeah, it's been a big year, mate. New house, got married, new baby on the way.
Mate, it's only April 15.
A new job.
It's been a big year. It's only April 15.
Feels like it's been a long year already, but it's been a bloody good one. So just want to put one out there, though, mate. We're torn on the name of the baby at the moment.
Ooh, hang on. Are you going to reveal the options on this podcast? Because I didn't think that was something you were allowed to do.
I'm going to throw two out there.
Ooh.
Mac or Max? It's a boy, big boy.
Didn't even give me time to do a drum roll.
Nah, mate, straight
Mac
into it.
or Max?
Yeah.
Is Mac or even Max short for anything?
Not even, just I've got a ridiculously long surname. Just need to go short like we did with our first one with Van. So let us know your thoughts if you're out there.
Are these special for some reason? Like, are they named after someone, Mac and Max?
No, there's absolutely no kind of tie with anything. We just landed on those two variations, and it's just been mixed reviews from different people. So let us know what you reckon.
Do you know what? Can I have an opinion?
Hell yeah.
I like Mac.
Yeah, Mac, yeah.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Even going to throw it at curveball, Mac. MAC, no K.
Yeah, okay.
I like it. Mac Ristovic.
Mac Andrew.
See, this is what happens when you're trying to name babies.
Return of the Mac. I like it.
No, see, Mac Andrews, can't stand him. He buried Essendon after the siren a couple of years ago.
Yes,
So now I'm rethinking that.
Yeah, no, I don't mind Mac.
No,
mate.
it's a great name.
I'm with Mac, but anyway, Max is more traditional, so I'm sure it's allowed to divide opinions.
Genuinely, I think Mac is a good name, like Mac and Van or Van and Mac.
Yeah.
I love it.
Two peas in a pot, mate.
It is. And, they're both like one syllable.
Yep.
So it's easy for you to say. I think those two words fit together nicely.
Sold. Lock it in.
Love it. Love it.
Love it. So we're tackling all the big issues here in the podcast. But
It's actually a pretty big issue.
It is big, mate. Away from punting this time, but we've got a cracking show ahead of us today, mate. We're going to work through the return of the AFL Barometer.
Oh,
Back to popular demand. We've got all the games we're going to work through ahead of a massive round of footy. We've got, of course, our 100 to 1,000 challenge sitting at $800, so the pressure's back on your shoulders, big fella.
Love it. I'm excited. I eat pressure for breakfast, mate.
Oh, mate, pressure makes diamonds. So I'm sure you're all over it. So we've got plenty to get through, and we're going to rip in with the barometer to start off with, pal.
All right, let's do the barometer. It is back.
Sizzling hot, teeth chattering cold, or somewhere the middle. Here's the Punt Pals Podcast Barometer.
Nico, the barometer is back and we are excited. We haven't done this for a good year or so. We run through freezing, cold, lukewarm, warm, and hot. So, get us started, mate. Who is freezing this week?
Well, I've got to throw Carlton in there, mate.
Wasn't hard to find that, really, was it?
It was a low-lying fruit, really, but they're freezing because they play essentially two different games in the same game of footy. First half, they come out hungry, they get a run on, get a few goals, they can kick big bags in a quarter, and then in the second half, mate, they're just so predictable, aren't they?
Man, while we've been off on the break, I actually did a bet through PointsBet. They gave me $6.50 Carlton North Melbourne for Carlton to be winning at half time and lose the game. Took it. Bloody oath I took it, and it got up beautifully.
Boom, there you go.
You can rely on them.
That is a great punting story. So it's like clockwork in the moment. They seem to be just not being able to find a way to go over the line. Might be fitness, don't know. And then Richmond, mate, they haven't got a win yet, so can't get too excited about them, can we?
0-5, Tigers.
That's
mate,
freezing. Cold, mate.
That is freezing cold. Now, I reckon you've been harsh on this one, but probably a little bit fair in the Gold Coast, man. You reckon they're just cooling down a bit? The suns aren't hot. Scorching, no.
I don't know if they've been spending too much time down in Victoria, but they have been pretty average the last few weeks, mate. Beaten by Melbourne, obviously.
That was on the road, wasn't it? Or was that at home?
Was.
Yeah.
You got beaten in gather round. They're getting beaten up in clearances, which is their strength.
Yeah.
And, mate, I'll tell you what, they'd be desperate to get Petrarca back in at this stage. I just look at all at sea.
Yeah, Noah Anderson been very quiet. He probably hasn't been living up to it the last few weeks. You're right, get Track back in there, but maybe just wait a week, guys. You've got Essendon this week. You're going to lose the third in a row. You can heat up after that.
Yeah, exactly. Don't start warming up just yet. And Anderson's out with an appendix removal, I believe, this week, so it doesn't get any easier for them.
Is that true?
It is, mate.
I didn't know that. As a Bomber supporter, and I'm sorry, I don't wish bad on anyone, but great.
Oh,
Great.
Gosh.
All right, lukewarm. Man, this is where teams are just mid. They're not bad. They're not good. They're just sitting in this weird area.
Mixing form, aren't they, really?
Mixing form.
I'm not going to put Adelaide in this category, mate. They've been very close in most games against the better sides. And they were winning those games last year, which had them on top of the ladder at the end of the year, Robbie.
Yeah. But then when it got to the heavy stuff, they missed out.
And that's what's happening in the season this year. They just can't find a way to win. Lost by 6 points to the Dogs, 8 points to Geelong, 2 to Freo. beat Collingwood and Carlton, which essentially puts them in the lukewarm category. I think they need to beat better opposition if they're to dispel the myths around their performance last year in big games and be at the pointy end of the ladder again. Currently 11th, which for me feels a little bit cold for where they should be, in my opinion.
Considering they finished first. And as you say, they've been lukewarm for a year. How long can we keep simmering that oven?
Yeah.
We're running out of gas here. The bills are getting high.
100%, mate. The cost of living out there. So they'll be in the fridge soon if they keep this up, mate.
Adelaide, you're on notice. Warm. Now, North Melbourne, they're one of these teams that, you're right, they started off with a bang. We were starting to think they were hot. They were sitting fifth on the ladder for a while. And, they're not hot, but they're doing all right considering where we thought they might be.
Exactly. Great summary. 3 wins from 5 games already, equaling the number of wins they had across the whole season last year.
Yeah.
So for me, that's a big milestone. They should have beaten West Coast really and had 4 wins on the board from 5. So, if they hadn't have had a mental lapse that game, I think they're a team on the rise. I think they've got a lot of great players in that team. They're playing currently without their number one ruckman in Tristan Sherry and still getting it done as well.
Yeah, true.
So they're still upside. And I think they've got some really good young players. Obviously, Cooper Trenbarth, who took that massive mark over gather round.
Yeah, big Tremo.
Big Larky can do all the good impressions. Some good guys going through that midfield. And Luke Parker playing Evergreen into his mid-30s. So, lot to like about North Melbourne. I did get sucked in last year, remember, and they put him in my multi and they shit the bed the week after.
That's right.
So I'm not getting too far out of myself, Robbie, but I do like them.
Yeah, don't get too excited. But you're right, the list build is starting to come on a bit. Those younger guys are starting to get a little bit more mature. And one guy I'm actually loving from North at the moment, he's had some awesome form and it's all in the surname. Zane Dersma. He's been playing some good footy. And up until this year, there was question marks on whether he was going to make it. He was lukewarm. Now he's warm.
Great shout. And that's probably the difference between last year and this year. Those young guys have taken big steps forward. And I think they're well coached, obviously. Clarko, he doesn't muck around. And those guys like Wardlaw that didn't play big periods last year, I think when they're all fit, their depth drops away quickly when they're not, by the way. But when they're all fit, they can take it to some of these better teams and be in games for long periods. So they're a watch for me at the moment. They're in the warm category, mate.
Love that from you. Now, we're going to move into the hot. And we got 2 teams in hot because there are 2 teams that are going along nicely. Some might say they're sizzling. And I tell you what, Nico, I would not want to be taking on the Sydney Swans at the moment, especially with Isaac Heaney. He's had a head full of steam for a few weeks now, and he's just dominating all comers, right?
Oh, he's got to be in the top 2 players in the league for mine at the moment.
Oh, yeah. What's he paying for the Brownlow? I haven't looked at that yet, but I've been meaning to have a look.
5s, I think. Bontempelli's in at 250 now, 275.
Interesting.
Our early season prediction.
Yeah.
So
Bont's been good.
Might finally be his year for provided he doesn't get injured. But to your point, mate, Sydney just playing probably the best modern style attacking footy that we've seen from out of any team. They're sitting at 175% at the moment on the ladder. The next best is 131. So they're scoring in bunches. They brought in, obviously, the big fella, Charlie Curnow, and he hasn't really had to do much, to be honest, because the rest of them are carrying him. They beat the Lions by 44, which is probably their best win. Brodie Grundy's having a massive year. He's 4th in score involvements for the league, Brodie Grundy.
Is that right?
Crazy.
That's mad.
Then another guy's crept up. Justin McInerney, also in rare air league. He's leading the league also, I think, 2nd in score involvements or something.
I saw this stat the other day.
Nuts.
Funnily enough, I was watching it at home when I was away at Gather Round. Sydney at the time on Saturday night when I was looking, they were top 4, like score involvements. The top 4 players are all Sydney players.
Nuts.
It's crazy.
Well, they're scoring a lot of points, which you'd argue is going to create some bias in those numbers. But the way they move the ball and transition it from half back to half forward at pace gives their forwards a look. And suddenly, they all look dangerous. So I love what Dean Cox is doing. Well coached, modern game style. Teams, they're scoring in bunches. I think they kicked, 10 goals, 12 goals in a quarter earlier in the year.
And that's unlike the Sydney we're used to. They were always a bit of a lockdown team.
100%,
dominant, but lockdown.
100%.
So,
And they need to play exciting footy up in that market in Sydney, which seems to be waning a little bit. So I'm loving what I'm seeing from Sydney, and they are red hot at the moment, mate.
Isaac Heaney, $10 for the Brownlow at the moment. I reckon that's good value. He might not have dominated the first 2 weeks, I'm going to say, but, when players hit this run of form, if you can get a few 3 voters in a row, it puts him in a good spot. Nick Dacos, 2nd at $4.50, the Bont at $3. If you're
Bont at $3, yeah. Well, Heaney does have that 20 and 2 most weeks, doesn't he?
He does.
So that's generally a formula that gets you some Brownlow votes, mate. Without further ado, though, the other team in the hot category, of course, is
Oh, mate, I would just say they weren't so hot on the weekend because it was bloody freezing in Adelaide, but Fremantle Dockers.
I'll tell you what, mate, 4 from 5. We're getting excited.
Things are looking good.
Tough way to start the year. They had a pretty brutal draw, obviously, with the Cats round 1. They lost that game, which I think probably gave them a little bit of a shake-up. They then went on to win, I think, 4 consecutive games. So they could be the real deal, Robbie. I like what I'm seeing from them, particularly in close games. Mm-hmm. When the game's on the line in the third and fourth quarter, they've struggled. They've always been a good clearance team, but to be honest, they lost games they should have won last year and vice versa. I think the progression of Dudley, Erasmus, Johnson, these guys who are fringe players, suddenly you see Johnson kick the winning goal on the weekend. They're getting a lot better. And then Jai Amos, obviously, we've spoken about. He's our whipping boy. He's bounced back and he's back to his best.
He's stepped up the last 3 weeks, mate. Amos has been very good.
So you look at them now, they're well placed. They've got a very kind fixture in the last half of the year. We spoke about being in Perth for 8 straight weekends in a row. The fixture's been kind. They're setting their season up beautifully. So they're definitely in the hot category, sitting second, I think, in the ladder at the moment.
Love that from you. 2 things I've noticed from Freo lately. Josh Tracy, your boy, the clamps from hell. Like, he's marking everything at the moment. Yeah. Took a ripper on Friday night. And I think the week before, I'm just trying to remember who you played now, he took 13 marks or something. So he's killing it. And Dudley, really interesting to watch because I feel as though he's one of the biggest impact players in the league. He'll kick 2 or 3 goals in a game, but he generally does it within about the space of 5 minutes and you don't see him for the rest of the game. Yeah. But it's enough.
Or like on the weekend, to your point, great man, he basically set the game up for Freo to win. He makes that tackle or that pressure late on, I think it was Jamie Elliott, half back. Spills the ball, Johnson gathers the ball, evades a tackle from Maynard, kicks the goal without that forward pressure. And that's what they lacked a bit, I reckon, with Freddie. I think they've had an upgrade in that position. And it's showing. Their pressure in their forward line's been elite with him and Murphy Red.
It's very good. It's very bloody good. So that's our barometer for this week. I think that's a really good list, actually. So very well done there, mate. As we move on to Hero of the Week.
I can be your hero, baby. Don't be a hero, mate.
Heroes of the Week.
This is your jam, mate, the Hero of the Week. What have you got for us this week?
All right, I'm going to start off with something from today, mate. I don't know if you've seen this. Don't know if it's the circles that you run, but because I work in radio, I'm right across all the pop culture things sometimes. And one thing that is massive at the moment right across Australia is Meghan and Harry. They've hit Australia for a royal tour, which is not actually a royal tour because they're not official royals anymore.
Anti-royal tour?
The anti-royal tour, but they packed it in like it is a royal tour. It's 4 days of madness. Melbourne the first day, Melbourne this morning, then they're off to Canberra, then Sydney, and blah, 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 blah. But one thing Harry did today, and I absolutely loved it, was he went along to the Western Bulldogs facility there in Melbourne and he learnt to kick the footy with with Adam Treloar, Matthew Kennedy, and the guy who I'm going to make Hero of the Week in Tom Liberatore. So, mate, this is so good. So they're sitting on the oval, all the cameras are around, and the 3 boys are there sort of talking him through it, showing him this is the footy and blah, blah, blah. Matthew Kennedy goes down and sort of points at Harry's boot and says, you know, you've got to kick it within about that spot. And Harry has a go, he kicks it. Not bad, like not a bad little kick, not the best ever. And then Tom Liberatore pipes up and he goes, yeah, I think you got a bit of work to do there, Harry. And just, it was such a liver thing. And Harry looked at him and goes, yeah. And so he kicked another ball and he bloody booted it about 40 metres.
Yeah, nice, Harry.
So he fired him up.
What's his rig like, Harry? You reckon he could get around there, around the footy field or not?
He was about as tall as the boys. Hard to say, though. Like, he's trim, but I don't know if he's ripped or not. He was wearing his suit pants and whatever else.
But he's got a leg on him, eh? 40.
Got a decent leg on him.
Yeah, okay.
Got a decent leg on him.
Yeah, Richmond might need him at the moment. Throw him in there. Send the visa.
There is a chance, mate. There is a chance. Mate, so he was the big one for me that just popped up today. Yep. I know you want to throw one in here as well. And this is my nemesis pretty much.
A couple of... Those who remember that Robbie's gout, well-publicised gout issues. I had to throw a couple of notable mentions, one being the 18-year-old gout, mate. Stunned the sporting world at the Australian Athletics Championships on Sunday, obliterating the national 200-metre record with a blistering 19.67
How good. How good.
He's floating, isn't he, when he gets going?
Yeah.
That last 50, your feet don't touch the ground.
And, man, I was reading a stat that apparently he's right up there with Usain Bolt at that age. Like, as in their times are comparable. Maybe he's even quicker than Bolt.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So
Yeah, he's going places, mate. Obviously,
quickly.
not quite in that that open men's yet, where Lockie Kennedy, I think, has got a bit of a stamp on those short course races.
Well,
but
he's good in the 100, right? Lockie Kennedy.
200 and plus, I think Gout's a man.
Yep, I reckon you might be very right. So well done there to Gout. Gout, you're in Heroes of the Week. Any others, mate, you want to put? What else have you got here?
We like the weird and obscure, don't we?
Yes.
Cricket's had a new world record, mate.
Right.
Brazil's Laura Cardoso took 9 from 4 in 3 extraordinary overs against Lesotho on Thursday night. They rolled their rivals for a mere 13 runs.
9 for 4.
In reply to
Jesus.
Brazil's 202 they put on the board. So Brazilian bowler there, Laura Cardoso, she had a hat-trick in the first over, picked up 4 more in her second over for the BCA Kalahari Women's T20 International Tournament in Botswana.
It's not a bad day out.
So it's a good little league, mate. International, playing for your country, 9 for 4. Well done, Laura Cardoso. She's registered the best ever figures in men's or women's T20 internationals.
Well done. That's amazing. 9 for 4.
Not bad.
That's bloody unbelievable.
Yeah, I know.
Give her a little... Well, I thought that was a clap, but that'll do.
Yeah, she'll get the tick.
Oh, very well done, mate. Very well done. That's some good Heroes of the Week for this week. Man, we're going to move on to the main meal now. So, of course, we're into round 6 of the AFL. We don't have any bye rounds this week, I don't think. There's no byes. It's a full round of footy, which
hallelujah.
is, I almost can't get my head around these days. But we're starting off. This is interesting, man. So, I know there's 2 Friday night games, but we've still got Thursday night footy, don't we?
We do, mate.
Good.
Yeah, we do. Let me just have a quick look at the archives here and the round ahead. We've got, the blockbuster, which is Carlton versus Collingwood on Thursday night, mate, of course.
There was a time when this was a blockbuster, actually. But
2 big Melbourne rivals, but not at the moment. Well, actually, they're both going pretty short, I'm honest. So, if I'm honest, Carlton languishing 3rd last on the ladder and Collingwood not far behind in 13th. So, both teams really in need of a win.
Yeah, look, the Pies, they're not bad. Like, you wouldn't say they're sitting there and they're terrible or anything, but they are struggling to get goals at the moment. That's the biggest thing on the Pies.
Yeah.
And Carlton, I think 274 is short.
It is short. It's shortened up even more, I think, in there. Now, I just checked in into 250 now.
Is that because DeGoey's out?
Yeah,
And
out for a while with concussion, I think. Darcy Moore's also not playing. There's a few outs for Collingwood at the moment. And they're just, as you said, they're just not scoring enough goals to put a winning score on the board. So they're vulnerable, especially if Carlton get out early.
Yeah, I don't see it. See it.
Stats don't lie, do they, really? Last 4 they've won against Carlton, Collingwood either.
Yeah, so I think for me, Magpies all the way. I'm probably going to stay away from this in a betting perspective. Yeah, man, we'll move on to Geelong and the Dogs, I suppose.
I reckon. Let's do it, mate.
157 the Cats to 242 at the Dogs. So odds... Interesting again. I think it's just given that the Dogs played so badly this week that they've gone out to 242. I don't think if this game was being played in round 5, those odds would have reflected that.
No. And, mate, Geelong, very strong record at GMHBA, winning the last 6 there, including a win against Freo, who was sitting very high on the ladder. But the Doggies, I had them penned as my best team of the year at the start. So, to your point, can you read too much into their performance? Was it a bit of an oddity last round? Darcy not going as well as we probably hoped he would. I think he might be carrying something, mate.
Potentially.
Your man Norden cost my multi on the weekend, and I had to let you know all about it on the text, didn't I?
Hey, it was 12 weeks in a row, 2 goals plus.
Yeah, well.
He had to fall at some
As soon
point.
as I get on him, he's going to lose, isn't he? But we both love the Doggies, and we both love a multi with the Doggies too. They seem to be the team that have a lot of scorers and they can score in big numbers, and they're a high possession team, which you love talking about, mate. So we're both going to attack this game, and you're going to launch in with your first one here, multi for this weekend of football.
Love it, mate. So I'm going to take the Western Bulldogs SGM, as you said. There's a bit of Geelong flavour in there, though. Holmes for 25 plus, that's paying $1.20. Bailey Smith, 16 plus kicks, $1.12. Fraser, 15 plus disposals. That's always been a real banker for me this year. You usually get about $1.50. He's gone into $1.11 for that. Matty Kennedy, 20 plus disposals at $1.11. And James Warple, 15 plus disposals, $1.08. This is actually quite a conservative bet. You're only going to get around about $2 for that one, but I'm taking the lowest on every single leg just to be a bit conservative today.
Well, I don't mind it, mate, because, again, build the balance for the weekend.
Yeah, it's true.
But double up on the Thursday, Friday night games.
Yeah.
Generally, Sportsbet will give you a free throw at the stumps as well, won't they?
Yeah, well, they do. You usually get that any leg fails.
Yeah.
And you get you get a bonus bet. So you have another crack Friday.
I mean, the general consensus is pile into something really big odds.
Yeah.
But I guess the trap is, why don't you just get a bloody win on the board?
And sometimes that's the right way. You taking SGM on this one?
I am, mate. Yes, keen on the SGM here. The Dogs do leak a lot of goals. They kick a lot. They put up a big score, but their defence can sometimes be suspect.
Yeah.
So I think here I'm going to stay with your man Norton any time. Can't aim for 2 after last week.
Oh, he's back.
He's in there any time I'm okay with, but any more than that, mate. I'll tell you what. Darcy too, the big cowboy Neil, he's been in good form any time. Tanner Bruin. Not sure if you've seen his work of late.
He's been playing some really good footy.
He's zippy, man. Like they were saying last year could have been the difference between winning the grand final and not winning the grand final, by the way.
Based on the way he's playing.
So it's hard to disagree when he's racking up 25 each week and a lot of inside 50s. So I'm going to take him 20 plus. Tommy Stewart, 15 plus, 325 there.
Lovely.
And I am keen on the Dogs. I was keen on the line, just side note here. But 10.5 points just seemed like not enough of a head start to take the Doggies there at 242.
Yep.
So I'm keen to give him a 4-goal head start, and I'm getting about $1.90 there. So I was pretty happy with that. Sorry, $1.75 there for a 3-goal head start. So I'm keen to play there.
Don't hate it at all. I think the Doggies are going to bounce back. Like, you can't play 2 games like that when you're at that level from a list position, man. Their list is great.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to Sydney and the Giants. Battle of the Bridge, $1.27 the Swans. The Giants, GWS Giants, $3.82. Both coming off wins in the Adelaide Hills, essentially.
Yep.
Well, Barossa's the Hills, sort of, isn't it?
It is. Yeah,
Norwood's not really. That's smack in the city. Sounded good.
She's gone with it, mate. No would have fact-checked you.
What are you thinking?
Well, you talked about those 2 wins. Sydney Swans beating the Gold Coast Suns, who are hard to get a form line on at the moment. And then GWS, they did win convincingly, but only against Richmond. And they've only just been going at the moment, the Giants.
Yeah.
So the Battle of Bridges, one thing I would say, any danger of the AFL just giving them a Friday night fixture and not overlapping it? Bit odd, I think.
It's odd, and I think they do it around scheduling so that both teams come off the same break, but I agree. Don't like it.
I reckon subtly they're worried that the Sydney and Giants won't carry enough of a viewership on a Friday night standalone too.
Well, they're probably not wrong.
But it's not all about that. Give them the airtime, I reckon, though, Robbie.
Man,
Don't overlap them.
I think rusted on AFL fans like us will watch any game Friday night. I'm chomping at the bit for Friday night footy, no matter what. I'll always watch it. So, yeah, they probably didn't need to do the 2 games.
I don't think so. Half an hour gap between them. So I guess Sydney have won their last 11 matches as a favourite, which beckons well for the $1.27 on head-to-head odds. Hard to see them losing to a GWS side who are just going lately. I think $1.27 here for Sydney. I'm going to anchor it as a lot of my multis. And that's about all I want to play in this game. I don't know really who to back from a Sydney forward perspective. They mix it up. If I was going to take any player, I'd have Heaney 20 plus and 2, probably.
Yeah, which is just standard. You can look that in these days,
Get
really, to be honest.
For it.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Bloody oath. One thing I liked about GWS is they're big boys on the weekend. So Cadman took 2 cracking marks. I don't know if you saw this in the first quarter.
I did, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. And he went back, jagged. I think he kicked 1 goal, then he missed the other, but the marks were sensational. So it was pretty good to see him launch back into that side. Other fella I liked, and little bit random here, but I just really enjoyed the way he went about it, was the big ruckman Madden. It was only his 4th game. I did a bit of research. I don't think he's related to Simon or Justin or anything like that.
Nico Madden, is it?
Yeah. He's good. I like him. Terrible hairdo, but other than that, he looks like he's got a future.
Bit of a man bun. 16 posies last week, 111 fantasy points. So he was good, mate.
Yeah. Do you know what? I hadn't even looked at his stats. I just looked at his game and thought that was good.
They piled a big score, 131. They had 7 guys kick more than 2 goals GWS last week. Jesse Hogan hasn't really kicked a big bag in a number of weeks. Only 2 goals too in when they posted a 50-point win. So, again, hard to read, man. Cadden was the only one who kicked a big bag with 4. Otherwise, it was Brent Daniels, Hogan, Hannaford, Bedford, Riccardi, a few non-notable goal scorers in there too.
Yep, I'd agree. There was a lot of goal scorers in that match. So, I mean, I didn't mind watching the GWS Richmond match, to be honest. I thought it was going to be a much bigger walkover than what it was. But anyway, I don't know if that preps them for the Swans very well, the Giants. So time will tell. I think Sydney do it a little bit easy this weekend. The odds reflect how the result's going to go. Speaking of which, the Gold Coast paying $1.08, Essendon $8. Oh. Of course, the Dons broke the drought after 323 days on the weekend, and the Gold Coast went down to the Swans. So everything's tying in here. How are you seeing the game?
It's again 2 teams. They're just mixing form massively.
Yeah,
like you could say, Essendon, they're mixing form. They only won 1 game, but the way they won was convincing.
It was a good game of footy. Like, Essendon actually looks succinct, as I think I said before.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what the difference is.
What's that, mate?
Having the 3 big backmen in there. So Ridley, Mackay, who's a bit of a whipping boy at the moment, and also Reid in there. So here's the stat that I heard over the weekend. So apparently, when those 3 guys have played together for Essendon, the team's 5-2.
Yeah. Yep.
But when one of those guys have been out, they're 5-30. So when we have a backline in there, things are actually okay.
Well, how's this for a weird form line going in, right? So you beat Melbourne by 45 points.
Yeah.
Melbourne beat Gold Coast. Remember?
Yeah.
3 weeks ago.
I thought you were going to say by 45 points. I was waiting for the by 45.
The old Cameron numerology segment.
Yeah.
Not by 45, but it's substantial margin.
But you are correct, yes.
It was a belting. So if you look at the last 2 weeks in isolation as a punter, you'd say Essendon at $8 is good value.
Yeah, I'd agree
Gold
with
Coast
that.
just going, but they're at home too, which is probably turns me off, backing the Dons in any meaningful way head-to-head. But I think the Suns will win. I'm nervous for those keen to play on the line, though, at 46.5 points for Gold Coast. I don't think it's going to be more than a 47-point win the way they're going.
Gold Coast are good at home, but you're right. Rao looks to be sort of struggling with that hand injury. Noah Anderson not playing.
Yeah, they're vulnerable. And
it's a big chunk.
Plus 46.5 head start for the Dons at $1.90.
I like it.
Pretty keen. I'd have to say, in terms of their goal scorers too, I've been really struggling with Gold Coast. Ethan Reid, 0-0, 4 goals, 3 goals, none. Lombard, 2-2, none. I don't know, apart from Ben King, you get nothing in terms of value for him anyway, 2+.
Yeah.
Hard to find goal scorers for the Suns, and they're just not piling up a score at the moment.
No, it's true. It's true.
What do you reckon, mate?
I don't... Look, I think Gold Coast are very good. I think if Essendon were ever going to beat them, this would be the chance. Yep. They've come off a really good game. Obviously, it's a lot of travel to go from Adelaide home, then back up to the Gold Coast. That's probably going to hurt them a bit, but they're a young side, so they should bounce back. Maybe the thing that's going to be the decider here is Petrarca and whether he's in or not, I would say. If he's in, probably makes it a bit harder. If he's out, get on the Don train.
Yeah, you get all the board. Yeah, I'm sure there's a few tickets still available for the non-train. The main matchup, just tuning in on Friday night, Mac Andrew versus big 2-metre Peter in the ruck. It's going to be an enthralling battle, I think.
It is going to be an enthralling battle. I don't know, 2-metre Peter, hopefully he can back it up. And hopefully the Dons, mate, I'd love to see him get it done. It'd be absolutely amazing.
Scenes.
And the party would be going long into the evening, I would have thought.
Absolutely.
Hawkers, $1.11. Port Adelaide, $6.70. So, I mean, I think the odds tell the story here on this game.
Yeah, Hawks are dominant in their home games. 21 of their last 22 they've won.
Yeah.
Hawks very good against the Dogs last week, who the premiership fancies. I mean, Port... I watched them last week, and I actually tuned in for this game. I had a bit of a leave pass. This is the only game I got to tune in for. Got done in a multi that was a 5-gamer.
Yeah,
in this game, which I was dirty as on, to be honest. And the one guy I was really filthy on at halftime was Jason Horne-Francis. He had done absolutely nothing.
Oh, hello.
Third quarter.
Hello.
Mate. 13 posies, 4 clearances and a goal.
Yeah.
Looked like the best player in the league. Left their run too late. Obviously, they got rolled by 14 points. Sinclair had 23 of 25, which is the only leg to lose in about a 30-leg multi across 4 games.
What?
So I'm dirty on Port for that, just because they're involved in that game. But primarily because I just think they're a pretty average football side and they fall away in terms of cream very quickly.
Yeah, that's a fair call. And I mean, without Butters there, which he is there. I don't know why I said without, but, Butters is the guy that...
Well, he was almost going to be rubbed out for that umpire scandal.
He only got a $1,500 fine in the end.
Shouldn't have even got one, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a bit of bullshit.
Admission of guilt from the AFL right there, handing me a fine and not actual games. To me, they're not confident, so just throw the whole thing out.
Yeah. Well, 1,500, if we're being honest, is a joke. Like, it doesn't send a message at all. Like, that's nothing to Zach.
Yeah.
And so it's like, why bother?
So
a lot of hoopla over a $1,500 fine when you think about it.
Butters was filthy too. Didn't mix any words when he came out of the press there either. So I think a couple of key things here. Chol's out with the hammy. Lewis has been very good. Gunston, very good. Wizard, very good. So I think just have a little goal scorer multi in this one and have a little play around. Gunston 3, Lewis 2, Wizard 2, 360. Yes, please.
I like it. All right. Adelaide and St Kilda, mate. $1.44 and $2.81. You've got Adelaide in the lukewarm category at the moment. So I don't know where that leaves you sitting between Adelaide and St Kilda.
Adelaide 2 weeks at home will help.
Yeah. And the Saints, let's be honest.
Yeah.
They beat Port Adelaide. It's not, based on what we've just said, it's not that big of a bragging right.
$1.44. It's $1.46 now. Is it, Robbie? Very juicy from a head-to-head perspective if you roll that in with, say, Sydney and a couple others, which you might be doing a bit later, mate. So Adelaide, good record against St Kilda. Hard to see them dropping this one at home. This will make it 3 straight games at home for Adelaide. $1.44 looks value. They've won 14 of the last 16 against the Saints. From
a betting perspective, I'm staying away from this, mate. I don't really think there's a lot to run with. Adelaide should win it, but for these two teams, I'm not big on SGMs at all. So I think, if anything, I'd take Adelaide to win, and that's about it.
Yeah, yep. I can't agree more with you in terms of who to back. There's no real standouts apart from Geordie Dawson, who I like throwing in. And just one guy to watch is Mateus Philippou. Had a very, very good breakout game last week for St Kilda. Kicked one from 55. Has always been a guy that's shown promise. And there's a lot of Saints players in that category. Machida Owens is another one. They just don't seem to play consistently enough. But I like what I saw from him. He could be a real good player for them at the back end this year if he strings it together finally.
He is an interesting one. He's been in the system, 2 or 3 years now, so he's due to actually really string something together.
Absolutely, mate.
Hopefully, for his sake, that breakout game does continue and he keeps getting posies. Now, mate, North and Richmond, 127. Richmond, 378. So that's the Roos 127, Richmond 378. Personally, I think North just get this done, but I don't know.
They'll get it done, mate.
Richmond have to win one. They look good. Tigers look good against the Giants.
I don't reckon they're winning this one. North have got a wave of momentum at the moment, mate. I've got to say, I'm getting sucked in, but $1.27 seems friendly to the punter for me. Richmond lost the last 10 in a row.
Yeah, and they're so young.
What I think's even more interesting from a form line is that these two teams are pretty evenly placed last year. You've already seen the gap in 6 months of where they've ended up, I think.
Yeah, well, they're at different stages of the rebuild, aren't they,
Yeah.
really? Like, North, you would say, have to be at 5 o'clock now. Their players are delivering those young guys, whereas Richmond are still at midnight.
They are very much at midnight, mate. Yeah. Don't have depth at all, do they? But if you look at some players to back, I think North's midfield are going to beat up on Richmond's midfield quite convincingly. I think you had 30 for Sheasel last week. Even Jai Simpkin bounced back into form, playing through there of 27. LDU, 27 last week. Parker off half-back, just finds a 20-plus every week. And even McKirch is one to look at. He had 23 last week as well. So put a few of the North midfielders in. Have a look at Trenbath for two goals plus at $1.41. Larky's been bobbing up. So you can wrap a few of those North guys together and you can get a pretty decent multi, to be honest.
I quite like North as an SGM team. Always have.
Yeah.
They are a high possession team. Guys like Sheasel will get 30 without a problem in the world. So it is one where you can find a bit of value, which I like.
Indeed.
Mate, the D's, 370 or 327 this week. after a demoralising loss to the best side in the league of round 5. Versus Brisbane, $1.34. Now, for me, this is a bit of a nothing game. I would say, as far as SGM goes, Brizzy behind Western Bulldogs are my favourite team for possession. So I'm going to be doing something there involving Ashcroft, Neil, all those boys.
Yeah, Neil was big last week, 30. Even Zachy Bailey, 20 plus. Ashcroft did get tagged last week, so don't read into his 19 possession performance against the Roos. I expect him to bounce back, to your point, mate. But yeah, I think, echo your sentiments, mate. Brisbane head-to-head is probably the only value I'm looking at in this game. And then from a Melbourne perspective, they're nowhere for me at the moment.
I'd call the Lions a lock. I don't think it can go any other way at the moment, but, stranger things have happened.
I'll ask you a question about Brisbane. Are we ready yet to trust in Oscar Allen?
He's playing some pretty good footy.
3 goals, 2 last week. Bobbed up the week before with a couple. I think he's had 3-4 games in a row now. He's kicked multiples.
I'd say, yeah. Yeah, I think he's looking good in that side.
Same.
And the difference between Oscar Allen this year and the last 2 or 3 years, he's got the delivery now.
Yeah.
So if his midfielders are playing well and giving him the ball, he should be proving himself. So yes, I'm putting him into a truster.
Yeah, me too. I'm starting to believe. So him and Lincoln McCarthy kicked 2 last week. Draper even bobbed up, kicked a couple. Zachy Bailey's always hitting the scoreboard. Loman, Rayner, they're all around the mark. So you can have a nice little goal scorer addition here to the Brisbane multi, can't you?
I love it. I love it. Now, mate, West Coast, $8 and Freo $1.08 in the derby. It looks like one of the most lopsided derbies you'll ever see in your life. One thing I did notice this morning, teams aren't out, obviously. It's Wednesday afternoon, so it's too early for that. But Mason Cox is looking to come into that side. It sounds like it's going to happen. It's pretty exciting. Hayden Young's supposed to be back for the Dockers as well. And then for West Coast, look, it's an interesting one. Milan Murdoch's going to be coming back in, Elliot Yeo, but they lose Jack Gray and the grunt through the midfield.
Yeah.
So I think when you look at those ins, Freo definitely win there. Win the battle of the ins.
Still got PTSD from that derby. We got rolled at $1.04. Look, there's no real argument the West Coast should be winning this game. I'm more excited about seeing Mason Cox come in and see what he can do with the ruck combination with Luke Jackson. What I did see from Freo last week, and they're backing themselves in with the Darcy-Jackson combo. We've talked about it several times.
Yeah, it's so good.
As soon as Darcy goes down, Jackson plays 100% in the ruck, and Freo dominated the second half.
It's interesting, isn't it?
To me, you just have to realise when you've got it wrong. You're playing a faster game of footy, Freo. I think Darcy's been left behind a little bit. He's not really a smart, crafty forward that can go play deep, whereas I think Cox gives you that.
Yes.
And he has been kicking goals in the waffle. So I don't know. How do they lose this game? For me, I can't form an argument for West Coast to win. I would say these games have notoriously been high scoring, though. The line's at 185 total game score, and the last 6 derbies have gone over that line.
Yeah.
So my only worry is, can West Coast kick a big enough score? They did kick 76 points last week against Geelong, by the way, away. So maybe they can.
Did. I think West Coast are plucky. They're definitely a side that are starting to come into their own a bit, but I don't really see any world where they beat the Fremantle Dockers this week. I know we saw the lightning strike. Was it last year or the year before? Lightning doesn't strike twice, man.
No, I don't think so
way.
either. I don't think so either. One couple of guys that are struggling a little bit. Jake Waterman.
Yeah.
He's been fine the footy, but his accuracy in front of goal, which is what he was well known for.
Yeah.
1 goal 3 last week, I think. 1 goal 4 the week before. Just has the yips at the moment, Jakey Waterman.
The one thing I like about it, though, is at least he's getting those shots in.
Yeah, he'll have that's what I mean. Maybe from a punting that perspective, he might drift out at 2+.
Yeah,
might find some value for him. But yeah, that Freo backline's very well drilled, aren't they?
I wonder if the markets will follow. It's a really good question from you, actually.
Well, not many people will back him because they'll look at those last 5 games and the insights there in the app and go 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. So I love a Freo multis. Here it is. Too much scoring power for West Coast's backs to manage, I think. So this is where we'll get on top. I think Freo to win by 4.5 points or more. That's the try bet line, I believe it's called. Tracy will kick 2. Didn't kick any last week, but it was a wet game, so that's a forgive for me. Dudley anytime, Amos anytime, Sarong 25 plus. Odds
Love it.
not out just yet, but I reckon you're getting about 250, 270.
Love it, mate. I reckon I'm going to take a possession multi on this. I haven't locked in what I'm going to take yet. I'm just going to double check to see Young's in and all that sort of stuff. So I'll probably put that up on socials, but there will be something along those lines for me.
Yeah. I love a possession multi with no goal scorers in just as a saver on a game too.
Piss off the goal scorers, man.
Yeah.
Get rid of him.
Yeah, you're off him, mate. You're off him.
I've been off him a year.
It's just that temptation. You can all be over in a second, can't it?
I chuck him in, I get burned, and
Kick
it can be all over in a second, mate.
Well, now you tell me 3 years in. For this podcast. So, mate, as we move into the bets and the tips, we, of course, start with the $100 to $1,000 challenge. Mate, give us an update of where we're at, because I've been talking to everyone about this.
Started with 100, as we know. Then it went up to 200. That was you. No,
Yep, I was first
that
up.
was you. Then I took it to 400. You took it to $800. And it's been 2 weeks in the waiting now. We've built the tension. I have the really high-pressure job this week of taking us to $1,000. Now, we've made a collective decision that the challenge was always to get to $1,000. So that's what we're going to try and do. We're not going to try and go to 1,600 and double it up this week. So I have the job of somehow doing that. There's many ways it can be done. And I've been thinking about this very hard, mate, because I don't want to lose the money for us.
Yeah, so
You know?
so you're talking more around putting the whole 800 on something short versus taking a portion.
Yeah, exactly right. So I could find a $2 bet and put $200 on it, gets us to the 1,000. Or I can go what some would say is a more low risk bet and put a big chunk on it. Obviously, we're staking more money, but a more likely win.
Yeah, it leaves you nothing in the kitty if it gets rolled.
Oh, we're done. We're done. Yeah. So I think in the spirit of trying to get to 1,000, and then we're going to start another challenge. This was a tester for us. I'm going to take $200 and I'm going to find a $2 bet. So after thinking about this a lot, and there was many different ways we could have gone about it, found a 3-legger here that we're going to run with for this, Nick. So write this down.
Mm-hmm.
It's important. 3 legs. The Hawks head-to-head at $1.11. Adelaide head-to-head $1.44. And Brisbane head-to-head $1.34. Brings us to $2.14. And that's how we're going to get to our $1,000.
Back to the promised land. Take us there, mate, please.
Man, we're going to do it. That'll be challenge done, and then we work out our next one.
Whole $1,000 on a $1.10 shot next week. No, that is extraordinary effort, to be honest. I had, in the layoff, watched many of these challenges go down week 1 or week 2 for many.
Man, it happens so often. So if we can get to 1,000, it'll be a big pat on the back.
Yep.
Stay tuned. Be here next week, and we will give you the results. It's very exciting stuff.
Just keeps it easy for people too. I had a few questions in the break. How are you going on the punt? I said, well, if you'd started with us at 100, you'd be 700 in front.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to tune in.
Yeah, you might have to start tuning in.
It's an easy formula to follow. So let's take us there, mate. I'm feeling very good about your selections there, particularly Adelaide, been at home for 3 weeks in a row now. Hawks, been dominant last week, obviously, against the heavily favoured Western Bulldogs. And then Brisbane, well, we don't need to talk about them, do we? They're just elite.
We know what they do. So we'll be celebrating next Wednesday when we record the pod. That is the plan as we move on to this weekend, mate, because it's a very big race for Perth. Of course, it is the Western Trilogy. We don't really get into the dogs and the harness. We know one thing, and that is thoroughbreds. The Quokka. Happening this Saturday. It's exciting stuff. The richest race in WA. This is massive for our state, massive for Ascot, massive for your brand new workplace.
It is.
Man, you are the horse racing king. You are giving us the preview for this weekend.
Oh, that is a nice little
Fire
high part,
away.
mate. I've been at the barrier draw this week. I've seen the barriers drawn live. I've been watching the markets intently. And to your point, great man, $5 million race. The winner goes home with a cheque of more than $2 million. So... And they've come from everywhere for this race, haven't they?
They have, man. 5 from over east. 5 horses from over east, which is impressive.
Growing contingent of horses that are coming over to steal our prize money, Robbie. And these ones that have come over this year look incredibly good. We start with Jigsaw, who's drawn a wide barrier at the barrier draw earlier in the week. Was very firm in markets. Now getting a decent price now for Jigsaw at about $4. It's going for 5 wins on the trot, including 2 Group 1s in this prep. They included a Group 1 in New Zealand, Then came over here, won the William Reid Stakes, a very, very good sprint race a couple of weeks ago. And Cabalas for Bjorn Baker, who has a very good record in this race. And I've been talking about Cabalas for a while.
Yeah.
These are two horses who will go forward, lob on the speed, come and catch me if you can. And I think these two, whilst they've drawn a little bit wider than they would have hoped, they're going to go hard early from that wide gate, come across, and I think they're going to be very hard to chase down overpass side style, mate. So if I'm going to mount a case for the local hopes, there's a couple I like, mate.
Please do. Tell us.
All right.
How do we keep this thing in WA?
Well, I think one horse has flown under the radars, roped them in.
Oh, yes. Very good.
So we did win the race last year with Joker's Grin.
Yes.
So we have, the Eastern Staters have won 2, we've won 1. Wrote them in's a horse who probably let a few punters down last preparation late in the prep.
Yeah.
But his 2 runs this preparation have been very, very good.
It's been nice.
Well, he sits on the speed. He'll get a nice card in behind some of these.
Yep.
And I think he has that last 100 metres where he just manages to just burst out of the block. So I think he's a really good price. $17.
$17. Isn't
win.
that about what Joker's Grin paid last year from memory?
Yeah, he was out around that 10, I reckon. $5 for the place, though, for Rope Them In. Not bad. And the other one I really, really like for Indiana Wineherd is Smooth Chino. Barrier draw wasn't unfriendly. It's unbeaten in 6 starts. And it was a big price at $11 and $3.50. So they're 2 to follow from the WA stables. And I think if you're looking at a trifecta, and I get asked this a lot, go pretty wide in this one. I've got 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 11, which is kind of Quaddy Kings.
That is pretty wide.
Yeah, it's kind of Jacob style. Throw a bunch in there.
I like it, though.
But yeah, you've got to in these big races. They're interstate horses lining up with horses they've never raced against in a different track pattern. The lot can go wrong, and a lot can bob up in terms of big odds, as we've seen in prior years, where you've had third places at $7.50, $8. So if you didn't put one in, gets in at $6, $7 for second or third. The trifecta is going to pay a bomb. The pool will be big, and you've got to get amongst it. So 1, 2, 3, 8, 11, 8, 9, 11 in my trifectas and first fours. The best 2 interstaters, I think, are Jigsaw, Cabalas, and the best 2 at odds here in WA are Rope Them In and Smooth Chino to fly the flag for the West Australian Sand Gropers, mate.
I love it. I'm taking your advice and going rope him in this weekend. I think that is a great one.
Why not, mate? Why not? And a bit of racing over East very quickly, mate, which puts together our multi. There's another really good 2-year-old race called the Karrakatta on Quackerdake.
Love the Karrakatta.
A little bit lost, obviously. Amelia's Jewel. A few horses we've lived on in the past have won that race.
Super Spink,
who won on the weekend.
a couple of years ago.
Won on the weekend at Morphettville too. Super
Perfect.
Spink.
Well done.
So it's heading towards a Group 1 Goodwood in Adelaide. But anyway, I digress. The 3 horses I'm putting in a multi on the weekend are Aurum Bell in the Karrakatta Plate at $2.75.
Love it.
Campione d'Italia in the Champagne Stakes at Randwick. Great last up win against quality horses, $2.50.
Well said, Campione.
And then Fangirl, a horse that we have backed to the 9s over the last few years. I'm just
For
gonna
good reason.
I'm just going to have her for a place, mate. $1.80 first up, good fresh. For Aurum Bell to win at Ascot in Karrakatta. Campaign d'Italia in the Champagne Stakes. You made me fucking up that time. And Fangirl to place in the All Age Stakes, $1.80, $12.75 for the treble, and I like it a lot.
I love that, mate. I'm going to be taking that. I love your racing tips. They always come through with the goods. That is why we call you the tipping king or the tipsy king. That works too.
Tipstovich is, that's also fun.
And, mate, that's the pod for this week. It's been a good one. We've had a great catch-up. Some awesome gear in there, and good luck on the punt this weekend.
Well done, everyone. Thanks. Good work by you, great man. We're running off for beer now, which I'm looking forward to. But if you are going to have a punt, do it responsibly, of course, Robbie. And just get around us. Follow us. We're back. And we've been on fire. So hopefully we can get this $1,000 up and start crowing next week, mate. That'll be half a podcast of bragging, I reckon.
I love it. All right, we'll be back next week. See you later.
Sports with our expert experience from football fields to courtside drills. Punt Pals Podcast, we pay the